In the high-stakes race to build the world's first atomic bomb, Robert Oppenheimer wielded psychological tactics like the Pygmalion Effect and goal clarity to unite a diverse team of scientists under the crushing pressure of the Manhattan Project. His unshakable belief in their potential sparked a surge of confidence and innovation, while his knack for setting precise objectives kept everyone laser-focused on the monumental task ahead. This blend of expectation management and clear direction turned a chaotic endeavor into a triumph that reshaped history. Oppenheimer shaped expectation management by fostering an environment where he subtly yet powerfully conveyed his trust in his scientist's ability to crack the toughest challenges of nuclear physics. Through open dialogues and tough questions, he nudged them to stretch their limits, making them feel indispensable to the Manhattan Project's success. This approach ignited their drive and sharpened their focus, proving that high expectations could lift performance even amidst wartime chaos. The Pygmalion Effect fueled success as Oppenheimer's firm belief in his team became a self-fulfilling prophecy, pushing them to excel beyond what they thought possible. By seeing them as brilliant minds destined to succeed, he boosted their morale and determination, essential for tackling the uncharted science of the atomic bomb. This psychological edge turned doubt into action, driving breakthroughs that might have stalled without his inspiring faith. Named after a Greek myth, the Pygmalion Effect boosts performance by sparking a cycle where high expectations from a leader like Oppenheimer enhance motivation and self-belief in team members. Studies show students labeled as high potential outperform peers due to teachers' subtle encouragement. In Oppenheimer's case, his confidence triggered harder work and sharper focus, amplifying results under the right conditions. Oppenheimer showed high expectations by diving into debates with the scientists, handpicking stars like Enrico Fermi, and signaling that only top-tier talent could meet the Manhattan Project's demands. His intense, hands-on style, asking probing questions and listening intently, pushed them to refine their ideas and innovate relentlessly. This personal investment made his belief in their genius palpable, spurring them to rise to his towering standards. The Pygmalion Effect shone in the swift creation of the implosion method, where Oppenheimer's trust in scientists like Seth Nimmer led to a daring solution for the plutonium bomb, tested triumphantly at Trinity. His faith inspired grueling teamwork that turned a wild idea into reality faster than expected, a feat echoed in studies showing expected high performers outpace others. This breakthrough, pivotal to the Manhattan Project, proved how belief could accelerate genius under pressure. Leaders today can tap the Pygmalion Effect by voicing genuine belief in their teams, setting bold yet doable goals, and backing them with resources and praise for milestones met. Consistency matters. Mixed signals or overblown expectations without support can backfire, as research warns. So authenticity and follow-through are key. By mirroring Oppenheimer's blend of trust and encouragement, they can unlock hidden potential and drive extraordinary results. Beyond expectations, goal clarity steered the Manhattan Project as Oppenheimer laid out precise objectives like mastering a nuclear chain reaction and crafting a weapon to outpace Nazi Germany. These sharp objectives cut through the project's secrecy and complexity, letting scientists channel their energy into clear steps forward. This focus ensured every effort, big or small, built toward the ultimate aim of ending World War II. Oppenheimer's key goals included enriching uranium, producing plutonium and perfecting detonation systems, all while racing against Nazi Germany's rumored advances. He also demanded a bomb compact enough for aircraft delivery, blending scientific ambition with wartime practicality. These concrete targets gave the Manhattan Project a roadmap, guiding every experiment and calculation with urgent purpose. These clear goals deeply motivated the scientists, with the stakes, stopping tyranny and saving lives, etched into every task they faced. The blend of pressing deadlines and brain-bending challenges spurred them to push through exhaustion, forging tight bonds over their shared mission. This collective fire, rooted in a vision of world-changing impact, kept the Manhattan Project humming with energy and resolve until victory. Modern leaders can learn from Oppenheimer the power of setting clear and ambitious goals that are tied to a compelling purpose, as he did by framing the Manhattan Project as a race against Nazi Germany to save lives and end World War II. By breaking down the monumental task of building the atomic bomb into specific objectives like mastering the nuclear chain reaction and developing detonation systems, Oppenheimer showed how granular goal setting can make complex projects manageable and keep teams focused. Additionally, his practice of openly communicating the stakes and involving scientists in understanding the broader impact of their work fostered a sense of ownership and urgency, a strategy today's leaders can use to inspire and align their teams. Oppenheimer optimized group dynamics by assembling a diverse team of brilliant minds and fostering an environment of open dialogue and intellectual debate, where scientists felt free to challenge each other's ideas and build on them. He strategically organized the Los Alamos Laboratory to encourage cross-disciplinary interactions, with communal living and shared facilities that broke down silos and sparked spontaneous collaborations among physicists, chemists, and engineers. By balancing strong leadership with a culture of mutual respect and shared purpose, he transformed potential rivalries into synergistic partnerships, ensuring that the team's collective genius was greater than the sum of its parts. In the Manhattan Project, teamwork amplified individual efforts through social facilitation. As scientists pushed themselves harder in the presence of equally dedicated peers, driven by a mix of friendly competition and collective responsibility. The collaborative atmosphere at Los Alamos, with its round-the-clock discussions and shared challenges, created a feedback loop where each breakthrough by one team member inspired others to elevate their own contributions. This dynamic not only accelerated problem solving, but also fostered a sense of camaraderie that sustained morale during the project's most grueling phases, proving that group synergy can unlock extraordinary individual potential. The secluded environment of Los Alamos sparked social facilitation by immersing scientists in a closed community where they lived, worked, and socialized together, intensifying their interactions and mutual influence. With no distractions from the outside world and a shared sense of urgency driven by the war, the scientists were constantly engaged in their work, bouncing ideas off each other and pushing one another to think more creatively and rigorously. This unique setup turned the laboratory into a pressure cooker of innovation, where the constant presence of brilliant minds and the weight of their mission amplified each individual's drive and performance. Leaders can foster social facilitation by designing collaborative workspaces and scheduling regular team interactions, such as brainstorming sessions or casual meetups, to encourage the exchange of ideas and mutual motivation. Establishing a shared vision or common goal that resonates with the team helps align individual efforts and creates a sense of collective accountability, which can boost performance through positive peer pressure. Recognizing and celebrating team successes, both big and small, reinforces the benefits of collaboration, and inspires individuals to contribute their best, knowing their efforts are valued within the group dynamic. Psychological safety spurred creative solutions in the Manhattan Project by allowing scientists to propose and test radical ideas without fear of ridicule or punishment, knowing that failure was an accepted part of the innovation process. Oppenheimer cultivated this safety by encouraging open debate and valuing every contribution, which emboldened team members to think outside the box and tackle the unprecedented challenges of building an atomic bomb. This atmosphere of trust and experimentation led to breakthroughs like the implosion method, where unconventional thinking was not just permitted, but celebrated, proving that psychological safety is a catalyst for groundbreaking innovation. Oppenheimer created a risk-friendly atmosphere by being an approachable leader who welcomed all ideas, no matter how unconventional, and by emphasizing that the complexity of the Manhattan Project demanded daring approaches. He fostered a culture where mistakes were seen as valuable learning experiences rather than failures, encouraging scientists to experiment freely and iterate on their theories without fear of repercussions. By insulating the team from external bureaucratic pressures and advocating for their autonomy, he ensured that the scientists could focus solely on pushing the boundaries of nuclear physics, unencumbered by the usual constraints of academic or military hierarchies. The psychological safety at Los Alamos led to bold scientific advances by empowering scientists to pursue high-risk, high-reward ideas, such as the implosion method for detonating the plutonium bomb, which was initially seen as improbable but proved crucial. This freedom to innovate without fear allowed for rapid prototyping and testing of novel concepts, accelerating the development of key technologies like the uranium enrichment processes and the design of the first nuclear reactors. By embracing uncertainty and encouraging intellectual risk-taking, the project achieved breakthroughs that might have been stifled in a more conventional, risk-averse scientific environment, demonstrating the power of safety in unlocking genius. Leaders can build psychological safety by actively encouraging open communication, such as by asking for input from all team members and responding thoughtfully to their ideas, even if they challenge the status quo. Modeling vulnerability, such as admitting mistakes or uncertainties, and establishing norms for constructive feedback, helps create an environment where team members feel safe to take risks and share unconventional thoughts. Consistently recognizing and valuing each person's contributions and ensuring that failures are treated as learning opportunities rather than causes for blame reinforces a culture of trust and innovation. Oppenheimer kept his team driven under pressure by constantly reinforcing the historic significance of their work, reminding them that their efforts could alter the course of World War II and save countless lives. He maintained morale by celebrating incremental successes, such as each breakthrough in nuclear physics, and by ensuring that the scientists had the resources and support they needed to overcome obstacles. His own unwavering commitment and intellectual rigor served as a powerful example, inspiring the team to persevere through exhaustion and doubt, knowing that their leader was fully invested in their shared mission. Intrinsic motivation powered the Manhattan Project scientists by tapping into their deep-seated love for solving complex problems, like cracking the secrets of nuclear fission, driven not by fame, but by the thrill of discovery itself. Oppenheimer masterfully harnessed this by casting the project as a noble intellectual quest, subtly employing the Pygmalion Effect, a psychological trick named after the Greek myth where a sculptor's belief in his statue brought it to life, expecting greatness, and thus inspiring them to achieve it. Studies like Rosenthal and Jacobson's 1968 experiment, where teachers' high expectations boosted student IQ scores, confirm this effect, though its limits lie in needing genuine belief from the leader, a tactic leaders today can use by setting high, authentic expectations. Oppenheimer sparked passion by framing the atomic bomb as a puzzle of cosmic proportions, igniting curiosity with late-night debates on quantum mechanics and the universe's building blocks, making work a thrilling adventure. He leaned on the Pygmalion effect by treating scientists as geniuses destined to succeed, a belief that fueled their drive. Think of how a coach's faith can push an athlete beyond their limits. To replicate this, leaders should weave grand visions into daily tasks and vocally champion their team's potential, though overhyping without substance can backfire as skepticism creeps in. Granting autonomy, Oppenheimer boosted the team's commitment by letting them design experiments and chase hunches, like perfecting the implosion technique, fostering ownership that outshone external rewards. This freedom paired with the Pygmalion effect, as his trust in their brilliance made them rise to the occasion. Psychology shows autonomy amplifies effort when paired with belief, per Deci and Ryan's self-determination theory. Leaders can apply this by loosening reins on skilled teams and affirming their capabilities, but it falters if trust lacks follow-through or skills don't match the task. The Manhattan Project stakes, stopping Nazi Germany and ending World War II, supercharged effort, with Oppenheimer amplifying purpose by linking lab work to saving millions, a moral fire that burned brighter than fear failure. Here, the Pygmalion effect merged with purpose, as his conviction in their world-changing role lifted performance, backed by studies like Grant's 2007 research showing purpose-driven workers outpace others. Leaders can ignite this by connecting tasks to a bigger why, though it wanes if the mission feels forced or detached from reality. Recognition sustained morale and productivity, with Oppenheimer using praise to reinforce the Pygmalion effect, signaling that he saw them as exceptional, which studies like Bandura's self-efficacy work show boost confidence and output. He celebrated milestones, like cracking uranium enrichment, with public nods and private notes, creating a loop where acknowledgement spurred more breakthroughs. Leaders can wield this by spotlighting wins and tying them to high expectations, but empty praise risks eroding trust, a limit seen when recognition feels performative. Oppenheimer offered non-material rewards like intellectual freedom and prestige within the scientific world, subtly using the Pygmalion effect to affirm their elite status, which kept them hooked without cash incentives. He gave standout thinkers leadership roles, say in shaping plutonium research, feeding their drive for mastery. Psychology's intrinsic reward theories, like 6 cent Mahalia's flow, back this up. In practice, offer growth opportunities and public credit over bonuses, though it's less effective if basic needs like fair pay aren't met first. Oppenheimer's personal praise, delivered in quiet chats or scribbled notes, deepened team loyalty by making each scientist feel uniquely vital, a Pygmalion boost where his faith in them became their own. This intimacy, say, commending a physicist's chain reaction tweak, lifted spirits and effort, with research like Gallup's showing personalized recognition cuts turnover by 20%. Leaders should master this one-on-one art, tailoring praise to specifics, but overdoing it can seem manipulative if it's not sincere. Recognition forged a project spirit of mutual respect, where every efficient advance was cheered, reinforcing the Pygmalion effect as collective belief in success snowballed into reality. This vibe kept the team tight and upbeat. Think of a band feeding off a crowd's energy, supported by Locke's goal-setting theory, linking shared wins to motivation. Build this by celebrating team efforts publicly and expecting excellence, though it collapses if cliques or favoritism fracture unity. Oppenheimer's culture of intellectual freedom and collaboration aligned with Manhattan Project goals, using the Pygmalion Effect to cast scientists as pioneers, a mindset that birthed wild ideas like the gadget's design. He nurtured debate and risk-taking, psychology's groupthink avoidance, ensuring agility under pressure, a model proven by Google's innovative teams thriving on trust. Leaders can craft this by encouraging bold input and believing in their team's genius, but demands a balance to avoid chaos from unchecked freedom. The Los Alamos setup, a remote community bond, tightened team unity, with scientists living as a tribe, swapping bomb theory over coffee, amplifying the Pygmalion effect as they saw themselves as a chosen few. This closeness bred synergy, like musicians jamming into a hit, with studies like Putnam's on social capital showing tight communities outproduce loners. Create this with shared spaces and missions, trusting in collective brilliance. But isolation can stifle if it cuts off fresh perspectives. Living together at Los Alamos turned a group of brilliant scientists into a tight-knit tribe, where shared living sparked impromptu discussions over meals and deepened relationships vital for cracking the atom's secrets. By designing this isolated community, Oppenheimer tapped into the Pygmalion Effect, named after a Greek sculptor whose belief brought his statue to life, expecting a collaborative genius that fueled the Manhattan Project's success. Studies like Tuckman's group dynamics model show how close-knit settings accelerate trust, a trick leaders can use by fostering team proximity, though it risks burnout if personal space vanishes. Beyond formal work, informal ties like friendships and late-night chats about physics became the social glue that reinforced collaboration among Manhattan Project scientists. Oppenheimer nurtured these bonds, leveraging the Pygmalion effect by believing a connected team would outthink any challenge. A dynamic echoed in research showing social networks boost innovation. Leaders can strengthen teams with casual bonding activities, but the approach falters if forced interactions breed resentment instead of trust. Despite the intense secrecy cloaking the Manhattan Project, trust flourished because Oppenheimer framed restrictions as a shared shield for their noble mission, not a sign of doubt in his team. He wielded the Pygmalion effect, expecting unwavering commitment and expertise, which psychologists like Rosenthal confirm can elevate performance when belief is authentic. Today's leaders can mirror this by aligning secrecy with purpose, though trust crumbles if communication lacks clarity or sincerity. The secrecy shrouding the Manhattan Project challenged trust by splitting knowledge into silos, risking suspicion as scientists puzzled over hidden pieces of their colleagues' work. Oppenheimer countered this with the Pygmalion effect, projecting confidence in each scientist's role, a tactic supported by studies showing clear expectations reduce isolation sting. Leaders facing confidentiality can ease tensions by affirming individual value, but mistrust lingers if secrecy feels arbitrary or unfair. To maintain faith amid restrictions, Oppenheimer used trust tactics like personal talks and advocating for better Los Alamos conditions, showing empathy that cemented loyalty. His Pygmalion effect approach, expecting resilience and brilliance, kept spirits high, a method Gallup research links to stronger team cohesion. Leaders can adopt this by blending personal support with high standards, though it demands genuine care to avoid seeming manipulative. The secrecy of the Manhattan Project molded the team's psyche, igniting a thrilling sense of exclusivity while piling on stress from constant vigilance against leaks. Oppenheimer softened this with the Pygmalion effect, expecting a united front that turned pressure into purpose, a balanced psychology ties to heightened focus under high stakes. Leaders can channel this by framing challenges as elite missions, but must watch for mental strain if support wanes. From Oppenheimer's playbook, today's leaders can draw a practical legacy. Use the Pygmalion Effect to set soaring expectations, paired with a collaborative environment to spark innovation. Fostering trust despite constraints and offering recognition, as he did, keeps teams driven, a combo proven effective in studies like grants on purpose-driven work. Apply this by believing in your team and tying their efforts to big goals, though it flops if expectations outstrip resources. Success blooms when psychological tricks, the Pygmalion effect, social ties, and freedom blend into a strategy blend, as seen when Oppenheimer fused them for Manhattan Project breakthroughs. This mix amplifies effort, with research like DESI showing autonomy plus belief doubles output, a synergy leaders can harness by weaving these tactics together. Calibration is key. Too much pressure or loose control can unravel the magic. Oppenheimer wove a holistic use of psychological tactics into the Manhattan Project, merging Los Alamos design with his Pygmalion effect faith in the team's genius. This seamless integration, expecting greatness while nurturing supportive spaces, created a powerhouse, a method echoed in modern team studies valuing cohesive cultures. Leaders can replicate this by aligning environment and encouragement, ensuring each tactic boosts the others without gaps. For modern fit, Oppenheimer's strategies tackle today's challenges. The Pygmalion effect inspires tech teams, collaboration drives startups, and transparency balances corporate secrecy. Offering autonomy and recognition fuels success in firms like Google, though adaptation to diverse, remote teams is crucial per recent leadership research. Leaders must tailor these timeless tricks to fit current dynamics, or they risk irrelevance in a fast-changing world. Leaders aiming to emulate Oppenheimer's success should start by deeply believing in their team's potential and explicitly communicating this faith, leveraging the Pygmalion effect to inspire peak performance. Next, they should engineer environments, whether physical or virtual, that promote informal interactions and strengthen social ties, essential for fostering collaboration and innovation. Finally, to sustain motivation, leaders must cultivate trust through transparency and empathy, while consistently recognizing and celebrating the team's achievements.